Now,
Recovery doesn't start tomorrow.
calling all angels.
Recovery starts right now. And here to help is Rated R for Recovery.
Calling all you angels. Calling all angels. Calling all you angels.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Rated R for Recovery. And we are Rated R for Recovery. That's Rated R, the number 4, recovery.com. And we have a website, so check it out. All our sponsors are on there. We do the show live from the KRZ studio in South Florida, or South Fort Myers. Not only South Florida, but South Fort Myers. We also have a YouTube channel. So for the extremely large studio audience we have right now, I'm going to ask them all to pull out their phones, and I'm kind of serious about this. Go to the YouTube and punch in Rated R for Recovery and hit like and subscribe. And that will help us with the that thing called analytics. I'm an addict, alcoholic. My name is John.
Hey, John.
My co-host.
I'm an alcoholic. My name is Joy. Welcome to the show.
Hello, Joy. We want to say hi to our friends at the Salvation Army, who this show is part of their curriculum. Hello, Salvation Army. And hello, Cousin Bonnie.
Hi, Danelle. Call me.
Cousin Bonnie watches everything we do.
Hey, Bonnie.
Mark, our executive producer, did a little live thing over the weekend on our YouTube channel. She watched that. So, Bonnie, thank you for watching everything you watch. I haven't seen Bonnie in quite a number of years, so it'd be good to see you.
Really?
I'm trying to get her to come here. And Jim L., who watches from Saskatchewan, Canada, every week. So here we are. We do this show from Kimmies Recovery Zone. We affectionately call it the KRZ studio. Kimmies Recovery Zone is the supplier for Narcan, a life-saving concoction to help people come back from overdose, and they are responsible for getting it into the hands of the first responders in Lee, Charlotte, and Collier counties, all the schools and all the
Treatment centers?
Thank you for that.
Hospitals, if they'll take them?
Thank you.
Actually, the Narcan I give out, I think, comes from
I'm
Kimmies
sure it
Recovery
does.
Zone.
It probably has a little stamp on the bottom that says Kimmies Recovery Zone. We want to say hi to our friend Eileen, who runs this place when Heidi's not here. Eileen is, yes, Eileen's here. So the first part of the show, let's introduce our friend Colin. Colin, welcome to the show.
Hey, Colin.
Before we talk to Colin, we have to, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the big spring festival here at Kimmies Recovery Zone.
This Saturday.
You can see what kind of response that got from our studio audience too. What is it? Spring Festival will be this Saturday, and doors open at 9. At 11, like I said. Okay, and it goes to 2. It goes till 2 p.m. So there'll be the Easter Bunny will be here.
Woo-hoo.
There'll be an Easter Bunny hunt. There'll be an Easter egg hunt for the young ones. And, you know, the best part about this, if you're listening from home and you're in a earshot of here, or actually driving distance, come on down, because everybody that has to do with recovery in Lee County, Charlotte County, and Collier County are going to have a table here. And if they don't, they miss out.
So for services. And so what's the address? 507
Center Road in Fort Myers.
All right.
Were you trying to trip me up on that?
Nope.
Okay, just check.
You just hadn't said. You said come on down.
Yes, very odd. You're absolutely right, Joy. 507 Center Road in Fort Myers. So I'm sorry? Will there be music? Yes, there will be a wonderful DJ. Remember that, Tyler.
With music.
Okay, so anyway, each week we talk to somebody and we get their experience, strength, and hope of what they were like, what happened, and what they're like today as a clean and sober person. So, and this is one of them. Welcome, Colin.
All right, Colin.
So, Colin, rumor has it you're a low talker, so I need you to talk right into that microphone.
Scoot that microphone right. There you go.
There you go.
Yes, I'm a very,
Colin,
very low talker.
Yeah.
where are you from?
I'm from upstate New York, Albany.
Albany, okay.
Yep.
And how? So that's where you went to high school, for instance?
I went to high school in East Greenbush, New York. It's the suburbs right outside of the city.
Very good.
Yeah.
Now, what my gateway drug, and Joy, yours was the same, I'm guessing, was alcohol.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Are you yesing me, Joy?
Whatever.
The first mind-altering substance I put in my body was alcohol. How about you, Colin?
Yes, it was alcohol.
Okay. And how did it progress from there? And how old were you then, by the way?
Well, my dad actually had his own beer store, so I was kind of brought into it at an earlier age, and just being around a lot of alcohol and microbrews and everything like that. But probably like 14, I think I started drinking around 16.
Okay. Do you think your heritage had anything to do with that? Like just I'm not trying to
Yeah, I mean,
stereotype, but you're Irish, right?
yeah, it probably could have a little bit to do with it, but they said it skips a generation, and my mom's dad was an alcoholic, so who knows?
Who knows?
Might have something to do with that. I mean, I can't blame it on my grandfather I never met. But
Absolutely. And then we eventually make our own choices as we go along.
Oh, yeah.
There is some literature that says once we are in our addiction, we lose the power of choice. But so how did this progress for you?
So I started drinking around 16, 17, and then as soon as I went into college, I mean, I always smoked pot through all of the sports that I played. I was a Section 2 champion soccer player. I played soccer, lacrosse, and basketball, and I just used weed to enhance playing sports and being, it would help me lift. I would be slower with my lifts and more focused and everything like that. But as soon as I went to alcohol, and then I got beat up in high school really bad, tore my ACL in my knee, and then my, career of sports I thought was over, and I got introduced to pills for the prescriptions, prescription pills for my knee, and then I went down a really bad path. I went to college I have a 2-year degree, and then I just got into actually making pharmaceutical drugs. I made pharmaceutical drugs for 12 years.
What does that look like? What do you mean you made pharmaceutical drugs?
So if you've ever watched Breaking Bad,
Yep.
That's pretty much exactly what I did.
You made ice?
I made ice pretty much, yeah. I mean, it was anything for cancer patients, every kind of bad drugs. When you put them together, they create, drugs to save people's lives. And so I worked with a lot of really nasty stuff. I had to wear an air hose, and if I wasn't wearing a full face respirator, I always wore CP3s, which was chemical suits and an air hose. And
Good Lord. What were you making? What was it called when it was done?
well, I made my dad's type 2 diabetes medicine. I made medicine for malaria, which is, they did liquid THC for cancer patients in the building next to me. But a lot of the stuff that I made was all specific for different cancers. Yeah, a big thing was for imaging agents, too. That was a 24-hour
I getcha.
process, 7 days a week, 365 imaging agents for if you have to get an MRI done.
So it was almost like you're a chemist.
Yeah, I had to follow batch records that would go up to like 120 pages thick, and I'd have to go step by step, and I'd have to turn a liquid into a powder, back to a liquid. I'd have to do separations between 10,000-gallon kettles, they would call it, And
Where did you get the equipment?
It was a big pharmaceutical company. Yeah.
Oh, so you were doing this legally?
Legally, yes.
Oh, okay, all right. I'm saying my jaw is dropping. I'm thinking he's making pharmaceuticals I like to sell on the street.
So like chemo agents?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like when I was doing the sampling, I had $700,000 in pure methamphetamines in my hands for cancer patients because they actually give
They didn't
meth
give me
to
any.
cancer patients to keep them alive.
That you know of.
I had cancer twice. They didn't give me any.
So
Well,
when-
you don't know about it. It's mixed in with the.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure.
so
Otherwise,
this
I'd
is-
have been there every day.
This is all actually a story for another episode of Rated R for Recovery. I'm just amazed at this. How did this affect your usage?
So I just got into the highest paying jobs for so I could actually go and use drugs and alcohol. So I did asbestos for 2 years while I went to college because that was dangerous. Right out the gate, you're making $20+ an hour.
And this is years ago, so.
Yeah, I just turned 40, so back when I was 18, $18 an hour was pretty good. And then I made pharmaceutical drugs, and I was making $25 an hour and working 70, 80 hours a week. And all of that money went towards drugs and alcohol. And over that time, I made Pepsi too, all Pepsi products, Lipton iced tea. I worked for them for 2 years. I lost all my good jobs because of my addictions. And
So when you say addictions, you're talking about the first off that you started drinking with the fellas or whatever, you got hurt, you had to have an operation on your knee, that got you addicted to painkillers? Is that what happened?
yeah, painkillers. And then down the road, I just started doing a lot of ecstasy and cocaine. And, I overdosed from fentanyl at one time, but most of the time I was just using, cocaine and ecstasy.
When Colin just said I overdosed from fentanyl one time, and he said it sort of matter-of-factly. And I say we, as people in recovery, say that matter-of-factly because it's a matter of fact with us. It is a matter of fact that those of us that abuse drugs, especially opiates, come in contact with this thing called fentanyl. It started when heroin wasn't available anymore. You couldn't get heroin anymore, or you didn't even know it, and it was replaced with fentanyl. This is the drug that kills, and this is the drug that Narcan helps save lives. So I just did a little PSA there, and now back to what you were saying. How old are you at this point now? Give us a chronological view of your progression.
So I got arrested for the first time maybe around 17, and then I got a DWI when I was 20, which they have DUIs here in Florida, but I had 3 of them in 5 years for drinking. The first time was 5 times the legal limit, the second time was 3 times the legal limit, and the third time was 3 times the legal limit. But I never was arrested for drugs. They might find, some weed on me here or there, but for the most part, I just, drank and did my cocaine to keep me up.
You're what some literature calls the real alcoholic, would you say? When you start, you have little or no control over the amount you drink?
Yeah, I was drinking a big bottle of Jack Daniels every night for 3 years straight, which is about,
And that was when
50
you were
shots.
17 or 18 or 19? I mean,
All the way through college, up until 35. I'm 5 years clean right now, and
Congratulations, by the way. Me too.
I just,
So let's get so you drank a whole bottle of Jack every day for how many years?
at least 3 years straight for that.
Did you have to drink when you woke up in the morning or you would shake?
No, I didn't have to do that in the beginning because my tolerance I was like 22, nothing really fazed me. I would either drink a 30 pack or I would drink a big bottle, and then I would go do a 12-hour shift, and then I would drink when I got off, and then I would do another 12-hour shift the next day, and pretty much I would sweat it all out of me because I had to wear a full suit, and I was like baking myself in this thing, and it was pretty rough. At one time I did mess up a batch, and it was almost $1 million mistake for tripping over a hose while hungover, and I definitely messed up some batches that were worth a lot of money for all different things. The majority of the time I didn't, but because of my addictions, I couldn't get to where I wanted to get to in life, because I thought I deserved things, and you don't deserve, you can't go off of that. You have to go and get it, and you got to put your best foot forward, and you just, using drugs and alcohol and thinking you deserve everything is just not how life goes.
Yeah, I get that. Now you're also a large man, so your tolerance, were you like that growing up, where you were?
No, once I got beat up, I just decided to work out, and in 10 years I gained 80 pounds of muscle, and it was a coping mechanism for not wanting to be beat up again.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you can't tell because we're sitting behind a desk, but Colin and I have exactly the same physique. I don't know if you noticed that. So, Colin, You had talked about getting beat up. Was it a really bad beating? How did I'm going to flash back now to there just for a second.
I was a soccer player. I was 155 pounds, long hair, and I got beat up by the lacrosse team captain and a couple people at a fire, and they just beat me up really bad. I tried to fight back, and I just didn't really have the skills, and I was just overpowered, and my ACL got torn on my knee, and then I went down this path.
How did that particular incident? How did that affect you emotionally? Do you remember?
It really ran with me for a while. Instead of taking the precaution or the necessary steps of going and talking to somebody about it, like I just numbed my pain, and the way that I did it was with drugs and alcohol.
Drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
Okay, so how bad does it get before you actually say I give up?
How bad?
The addiction. How bad? Like, where was the final straw that you said I can't do this anymore?
So after I lost my job at Pepsi about 6 years ago, I moved into a house with my buddy Chris. He inherited $1 million house on the lake, and we partied for like 6 months straight. And then it's in the snow belt in upstate New York, and all of a sudden we had no money for electric, no money for heat, stuff like that. And the snow was coming, and, I had a breathalyzer in my truck, and I barely could drive. I would sober up every 3 days and go to the gym and, just to get out of the house. Because when I drank, I normally had to wait 24 hours for it to get out of my system, because I drank so heavily that, it takes 1 hour for every shot to get digested through your liver.
You had that stuff timed out pretty well, didn't you there?
Yeah, I had a personal breathalyzer kit that I had in my pocket, and when that went to zero, then I could blow into the one in my truck, and then it would start. But if I just went right to my truck and said, "Oh, I think I'm good," I was never good.
How did this, and if any part, how did this affect mom and dad? Where were mom and dad, and what was your relationship like with them, like when this was progressing like it is?
Well, my mom, every time I got arrested, she wanted me to stay in jail, and my dad was always the one that bailed me out, because he saw bigger and better things for me, and he didn't want me to just get sucked into the system, and then all of a sudden my schooling went down the drain, all of my abilities and everything, and he saw great stuff in me, and he really stuck by me. He was an enabler for a while. My parents did go to Al-Anon for a while, but I wasn't really listening to anything they said. I just did my own thing. I had probation a couple times, but when I first got my DWI at 20 years old, I blew 5 times the legal limit. I blew .36, and they took my license for 90 days, which is nothing, and gave it back to me. And they recommended that I quit drinking, and I said, I'm not even of age yet. I'm not going to do that. And if I did it then, I probably would be retired right now at 40 years old.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
I know, but it's the reality. I spent so much money and time and effort, and messed my body up, falling downstairs and dislocating my shoulder 3 times. I had to have shoulder surgery. I had to have 2 different knee surgeries one knee surgery due to addiction. But I really messed my body up. I split my head open. I had 15 staples in that, ripped my ear off a different location. If there was stairs and I was drinking or partying, I fell down them. Let's just put it that way. So I was so numb to the world. I just didn't feel nothing, and I just woke up with bandages everywhere, and hospitals and different jails, and I never knew which jail I was in when I woke up.
Right.
I was blackout drunk and high as a kite.
Can you remember with sufficient memory the time where you said, I can't do this anymore, I need to get some help?
Yeah, when I left New York, I drove down. My addiction took me to Myrtle Beach, where my cousin lived. I stayed there. I got messed up for 4 days, sobered up for a day, drove down to a friend's house in Daytona Beach, Florida. Did the same thing there, 4 days party, day off to sober up, drove down to West Palm Beach, and I did the same thing there to another friend's house, and I did the normal cocaine, ecstasy, drinking a bunch, and I met this girl, and her name was Moon Dirt. She was a hippie, and she changed her name to piss her parents off. And we did mushrooms that night, and I just remember seeing the visuals. I don't remember I never did mushrooms before, but when I woke up in the back of my SUV, profusely sweating, not being able to blow in my breathalyzer, and I've woke up in so many precarious situations over the 15 years of drinking like that and drugging like that, including jails and wrong people's houses and this and that and boats that weren't even mine. And, and I would pass out anywhere and everywhere. And then finally I just said, enough's enough. Like, I left New York. I thought it was all the people, places, and things that were going on up there. And after being arrested 18 times and coming down here, and then I was like smoking crack with bums in West Palm Beach, and the cops are coming up to me, and I'm trying to be a bum protector. And,
Bum protector?
A bum protector,
okay.
yes. I thought that because, I looked a certain way, and I could just tell the cops, like, give them a break, you know what I mean? Like, that they would listen to me, and all they did was just like, pour out the drinks and tell me to, not do this on the beach. And, so then I just realized when I woke up profusely sweating and my buddy's banging on my window to my SUV telling me to move my truck because I can't park it there, and I can't move it because I have a breathalyzer kit, that, I just can't do this anymore. And I remember I called up Moon Dirt, and she and she's a great person. She's in recovery now too.
Very good for Moon Dirt.
If it wasn't for Moon Dirt, I would have never came to this program. So
To be confused with Moon Unit, Frank Zappa's daughter.
I don't know, but Moon Dirt, I owe a lot to Moon Dirt. She I called her up and I said, hey, I don't know what else to do. And she said, why don't you try Narcotics Anonymous? And that was on a Saturday. I was traveling over from West Palm Beach, the West Coast to the East Coast here. And the next morning, I walked into the Ultimate Weapon group, which is now Sunday at Kimmies, but it used to be for next, what's it called? Next Step. And I walked in there, and I saw Mark, and I saw Chad, and I saw a couple other people, and they started talking, and I looked up at the board, and it said, step number 1, has your life become unmanageable? And I said, yes, it has. And that's where my recovery began. If it wasn't for walking in just over 5 years ago into that Sunday morning meeting and just listening to other addicts like me, I said, you know what, if these guys can do it, I can do it. And
you had said earlier that if you take away the drugs and the alcohol, like myself and like a lot of us, we'd be retired by now with plenty of money. So you obviously are a very resourceful young man. And I say young man because you're younger than I am. That's all I can say.
I just turned 40 on Sunday.
I've got an ingrown toenail that's 40. So, all right. So now, what's life like today then?
Life like today? Well, from the beginning of recovery, I started working with a company that everybody was in the programs trying to do good, and I started doing floors with them, just ripping out carpets, and I was a laborer, and I wound up getting fired because I asked for a little bit more money per day because I didn't think $135 was sufficient for doing 10-hour shifts and driving all over the place. And so I got fired, and I said, you know what? I'm never getting fired. I'm never going to an HR department again. I am going to
Start my own business.
Start my own business. And I started my own business after 3 months, and still in business today, 5 years later. And now I do complete kitchen renovations and everything else. And,
Nice.
I owe it all to being clean. The only excuses I can make are, I don't make excuses. I just get shit done today, and that's it.
How is your relationship? Well, Dad was always your supporter. So are they still with us, by the way?
Yeah, my parents are both 77 years old, and the one thing that my dad wanted was for me to get clean, because he just wanted to know when he does pass away that I'll be okay, and I'll have, money to keep going, and I'll be on a right path. And, You know,
They must be so proud of you.
due to recovery, my parents are thrilled. I just bought my first house and was able to celebrate and, you know, bring my parents there. And they're just, I created this character of myself and to show my parents that I can do it. You know what I mean? And they're awesome. They're happy as hell, you know?
Very good. Give Colin a nice round of applause, everybody. Awesome story.
Colin,
yes.
do you want to tell us the name of your company?
Yeah, it's Hennessy Floors. It's my
right.
last name.
Can we see the caricature there?
It's right here.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, nice.
Again, very similar to my build. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, Tennessee Floors, this is Colin. And when we come back from commercial, we're going to be talking to somebody that I've known for a long time. His name is Tyler S., and he is the bigwig when it comes to the Oxford House. You're listening to Rated R for Recovery and RatedRforRecovery.com. We'll be right back.
Struggling with life's challenges? At The Next Step, we're here to guide you to a brighter tomorrow. Whether it's counseling, recovery support, or simply finding hope, we provide the tools and community to help you rise. Take the first step toward healing today. Visit thenextstep.org and discover how we can support your journey to wellness. Remember, every step forward is a step toward a better you. The Next Step, your path to hope, starts here. With offices in Fort Myers and Naples, 844-639-8371.
Have you been charged with a crime? You could face serious penalties for conviction, and it is vitally important that you have skilled legal assistance on your side during this time. Call Brian L. Edwards, Esquire, Attorney at Law today. 888-512-6254. Results matter. With a track record of success, our methods are tried and true. Mistakes happen, but we can help. Brian L. Edwards, Esquire, Attorney at Law. Visit FortMyersCriminalLawFirm.com or call 888-512-6254.
Feeling trapped in addiction? White Sands Treatment Center offers more than just detox. We build lasting recovery. With 3 inpatient and 18 outpatient locations located throughout Florida, we offer services from medically supervised detox to inpatient, outpatient, and sober living programs. Our services include individual therapy, family therapy, life skills, and small group sizes. Our amenities include yoga and massage therapy with recreational activities, including gyms, pools, and spa. Newsweek has named White Sands one of America's best addiction treatment centers 5 years in a row. You deserve quality care in a safe, supportive setting. Call White Sands Helpline at 833-423-2338 or visit whitesandstreatment.com and start your recovery journey today.
Welcome to Holy Spark. At Holy Spark, we bring power and reliability to every job. From panel upgrades and EV chargers to lighting installations and troubleshooting, we're dedicated to keeping your home and business running safely and efficiently. With expert craftsmanship, honest service, and free estimates, you can count on us to deliver electrical solutions that shine bright. Contact us today at holy-spark.net or call 239-789-6832.
Not everyone has the luck of the Irish. If a friend or family member is in trouble, call Shamrock Bell Bonds. Put our number into your phone, 239-332-2245, 239-332-2245, or go online at gobailmeout.com. Shamrock Bell Bonds provides fast, reliable service. Shamrock Bell Bonds, 1528 Broadway, downtown Fort Myers. Look for the Shamrock, and maybe luck will be on your side.
Hello, I'm Michael Manzi, owner of JCI Solutions, 239-672-2673. When starting this company 3 years ago, I had no clue that we would grow to what we have become. There is one thing I can say that we have done from the beginning is take pride in our work, making sure every customer we do work for is satisfied from beginning to end. Offering residential painting all the way to commercial painting with jobs done in a timely manner, with highly skilled professionals giving you top-of-the-line work. To help you create your new look, call JCI Solutions, 239-672-2673.
Struggling with addiction? You're not alone. At Phoenix House Project, we believe in second chances and brighter tomorrows. Our proven programs offer support, hope, and tools to rebuild your life. With expert care and a community that understands, transformation starts here. It's time to rise, reclaim your life, and become the best version of yourself. Visit phoenixhouseproject.squarespace.com today or call 239-244-7876. The journey to recovery begins with sober living. Phoenix House Project, where hope takes flight.
Kimmies Recovery Zone, where hope meets action. We're here to guide the journey from treatment to thriving, healthy living. With peer support, public education, and vital resources like housing, employment, and Narcan training, we're building stronger communities. Ready to make an impact? Together, we're creating a network of recovery, resilience, and renewed lives. Kimmies Recovery Zone, your hub for healing and hope. Visit us online today at kimmiesrecoveryzone.org. It's not how we survive, it's how we thrive.
When children have to play inside so they don't disappear.
Welcome back to Rated R for Recovery.
Gotta make Joy, that song that is the intro, and Al and everybody here to the intro to our show, is a song called Calling All Angels, which was written by the bass player from the band Train, Charlie Colin. Unfortunately and sadly, Charlie passed last year from a drug overdose in Brussels. He that's a re-recording of the song that was done by a great group of musicians, including Carly Simon, of all people, who just wanted to sing on the record. It's an amazing thing, and they turned around and gave it to Joy and I to use for the show.
I'm so proud of that.
The lead vocalist, Danny Beisel, on that particular cut of music, is on our show. When is he on, Joy?
I don't know.
He's in April, and Danny will be performing on the show via Laguna Beach, California, as our executive producer.
We're all going to go out there.
We can't go out there.
I know.
They wouldn't let us. But Mark has made it so that we can do a, whatever you call it. What do you call it? Zoom in? Zoom. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Rated R for Recovery, ratedrforrecovery.com. Before I announce our next co-host, Joy has an announcement to make.
We have another local event. It's the Sisters by the Sea in Naples, Florida. It's at the Hilton in Naples. It's a conference for AA and Al-Anon women. They have some great speakers. They have entertainment and workshops, and it's a lovely weekend, June 12th through the 14th. You can Google Sisters by the Sea 2026, and you'll see all that information. Thanks.
And this is just for women, did you say? Is that a women's thing?
Yeah, women
in the best places and the best food, and I can't go. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we broadcast this show from what we affectionately call KRZ Studio in South Fort Myers, Florida, which is Kimmies Recovery Zone. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, let me introduce the co-host to our next segment, the founder and creator of Kimmies Recovery Zone. Please welcome Al Kinkle.
Yeah, man. I love that, John. Thank you so much. Great introduction. Tonight we are privileged to have a great person here in the community, Tyler Sykes from the Oxford Houses. And we're going to learn... Hey. We're going to learn so much tonight from Tyler because we had a little meeting a few minutes ago, and he's got so many good things to tell us tonight. And we're going to start with... what brought you into the recovery world and what makes you do what you do, and give us a little explanation on that, how you started out and what drives you every single day.
Thank you so much for the introduction, Al. And yeah, I think it's important as someone here to explain that I'm a person in long-term recovery, and what that means to me is I've not found it necessary to make a decision that put me homeless, sleeping under a bridge, back in jail, or just burning my life down like I had done for a decade. And
hold on a second. How long were you homeless? Just a question.
So I never would have super long periods of homelessness. I was one of those that after about 4 or 5 days, I thought I'd hacked life, and I would run to the ER and tell them I was suicidal, even if I wasn't, and they would send me somewhere, and I would at least have something to eat, drink, and shelter, But Yeah, there was probably a good 2 or 3 year stretch where I cycled in and out of psych wards and detoxes 20 plus times. Yeah.
Okay, anybody out there that's been homeless or is homeless, you know, there is a way out, and there's proof of it here tonight, so go ahead.
Yeah, so I had finally arrived at a point where I didn't have any more answers that I could come up with myself, and I found myself in a program that lasted for 90 days, and that was wonderful. It definitely set me on the right path, and then I interviewed and moved into an Oxford house on June 6th of 2016. My sobriety date's March 11th of 2016, which means that today,
big number.
I have now celebrated a decade sober, which is crazy. And Oxford House was such a instrument in that.
Okay.
Did you have a question?
Well, and you just mentioned that for 10 years,
Yeah.
that alcohol was a problem for you. So
Yeah, so I tell people when I tell my story, I've lived 2 different lives. So today I get the opportunity to work for Oxford House. I've worked for them since 2017. And yeah, been able to do so many things that I never thought that I had the value to do. So yeah.
Well, we're glad you found your space, and
Yeah.
you know, what drives you, and what may be one of the stories or a couple stories that really drive you and drives the Oxford House, the whole organization, you know, and how far is that spread?
So the story that one of the stories of Oxford House that really drives like the organization and the mission comes from our founder, Paul Malloy. And, you know, he lived in this state-run halfway house that was going to close. There was no Oxford House at the time. And him and some other people had a crazy idea. And they said, we're going to run the house ourselves. We're going to take over the lease. We're going to come up with a system. And we're just going to, you know, we can't stay sober without a safe place to live. And they were successful with that first house. And now it's spread to over 4,000 homes in the country. Yeah, with over 18,000 people living in an Oxford house right now.
So it's national but not international?
So there are some houses in a few other countries. That
Nice.
would be Ghana, the United Kingdom, Australia, and Canada.
Amazing.
Yeah, and so it's something that's helped a whole lot of people.
And how many homes are you managing yourself? What areas do you cover? Because I know you were pretty far stretched here in Lee County, and I
Yeah.
don't know whether you're in other counties too.
So currently, I'm only working with the houses here locally in Lee County, and there are 20 of those. And yeah. it's
Yeah, I
quite
didn't
a
know
lot.
there were that many here.
Yeah. And yeah, I got an opportunity to start kind of working on reaching out to legislators, senators, people in the House and stuff like that, and start advocating for just recovery in general and educating them about Oxford House.
Yeah, the more information that we can get out there, the better off we are. So
Yeah.
I'm glad you're taking that step.
And especially because we hear a lot about the failures.
Yeah.
And we don't hear that much about the successes. And that's
Yeah.
one of the reasons we're all sitting here and that you're here. And so thank you so much. And every time you reach out to spread the message.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think people don't realize that. We hear those stories that are a little difficult to listen to, but we don't hear enough of it. So you're right. I mean, there's so many great stories out there. In this room, there's great stories, and it's spread throughout the world, so to speak, and people really don't realize that recovery is possible.
Yeah.
They just look at the bad side of it and think it's all terrible. It's not. It's very positive what we do, and it's very positive what the individual does himself in recovery. I mean, that's a badge of honor, I'm telling you. So, you know,
Yeah.
thank you, thank you.
And like whenever you're talking about success stories, there are so many people that are alumni of all kinds of different programs and organizations. And if there's anybody out there that watches this that is an alumni from a treatment center, sober home, like it doesn't have to be an Oxford House, as far as like reducing stigma and advocating for recovery, like I would highly encourage anybody to reach back out to where they came from and just to say thank you to the people that helped them get sober or learn how to maintain sobriety, because those people, like I think about it, I went through a 28-day treatment program, and there was a tech there, and you could tell that like her working in that environment for as long as she had, that it was wearing on her. You could tell that like she wasn't able to let go of what she was doing at work once she went home. And like I can only think like back to whenever I called her after I got out of treatment, and I was like, hey, I just wanted you to know that I'm doing good and that you had an impact on me. And dude, it floored her. She's like, nobody's ever done that. Nobody's ever called and thanked me. And I was like, oh, well, they should. And she was like, yeah, like I deal with so many people, and I just want to see them get better. And I think that that goes for a lot of people who work in the recovery industry. Yeah.
And you know, there's that thing about anonymity. And if you're in a 12-step program, you do want to have some anonymity for all sorts of reasons we don't have to go into. But you don't have to be anonymous to advocate for recovery.
Correct.
And just to speak, which is what we do here. You know, we basically just speak to recovery and to speak about all of those success stories, or calling the place you went to and thanking them for being there.
Yeah, I think a lot of reasons go on why people lay silent about their recovery, and you know, stigma is a big part of that. And I know you know a lot about that stigma. And how's that affect you with your halfway houses in different areas that you're in? Is there any issues with
So it's funny, from the very onset of whenever Oxford House was created and actually started to expand and have multiple houses or go into new states or counties or cities or whatever, we would open a house and the neighbors would get upset. And there's a phrase for that called NIMBY, not in my backyard.
Yeah.
And like over the years, we've become really good at being able to combat that and, you know, advocate for what recovery is. We'll mow the neighbor's yard for free, right? Like they don't expect that. And that just little bit of kindness. Or I can remember, we haven't really gone through a lot of it in Florida, at least here locally in Lee County. But whenever I was in Tennessee, there were a couple neighbors next to one of the women's houses, and they were getting really upset. And so we went out and spent about $200 on baked goods like cakes and cookies and stuff like that. And we just went door to door and just offered them, kind of extended an olive branch and said, you know, we're not here to hurt anything. We're just trying to improve our lives. And can we give this to you? And yeah, it like broke their walls down.
Nice.
And then immediately after that, they started trying to bring the girls food every week, you know? So like, it's, a lot of times, people make decisions based in fear because they just don't understand what's going on. And like matching that with more fear or some kind of aggression or something like that's not really going to solve the problem, but just a simple gesture of pure kindness typically will. Yeah.
kindness works, and you know, showing people that you're just a group, you know, trying to better yourselves and working really hard at that.
Absolutely.
And you know, when you do things like that, those little things, those little touches, that means a lot to people, because a lot of people don't get kindness too much anyway.
And just being a good neighbor.
Yeah.
You know, does a lot.
Does the good neighbor thing. If I'm involved in opening a new Oxford house, we put whiteboards up. They store information like the Wi-Fi password, account numbers for when houses pay their bills, important phone numbers, their outreach workers' contact number. I have them right on there. Let us always remember to be good neighbors. And that if we take care of this home, it will take care of us. And yeah, that's just a little simple thing. And it starts there in local neighborhoods and communities. You know, we all have a chance to be able to change someone's opinion by the way that we walk and the way that we present ourselves.
Yeah, I think you show that when you collaborate with all the people in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
And we worked with you quite a bit. You've been on our board and really a stand-up group of people come in here. Lots of times they're in here, and I mean, they're just great people. We know that. We get to know them. We got to know you.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's a blessing to have you out there doing what you're doing. And I forget the number. What is the number of people that you've already put through Oxford Houses?
Oh, I couldn't even.
Is it wild?
Yeah, it's going to be a lot. The number, so data-wise, between those 20 houses, there are 140 beds in Lee County. And like that's a pretty good.
That's good.
Yeah. There's no
Times,
time.
how long have these houses been running?
So we've been opening on average 4 to 5 houses each year since 2020.
And up to 450 beds, for the last 5 years, or?
Yeah. So it's making a good impact here locally.
Sure. And then collaborating with your partners in the community, how do you find that? How do you find working with the different agencies and partners that we have? I know my experience has been really good with you and, and the other collaborators. And how's that working for you, partnering up with all the rest of us?
Yeah, that wonderfully. So where I come from originally in Chattanooga, we didn't have near as many places to collaborate with as here. And then Kimmies has been amazing. Like, the food pantry thing is wonderful. It helps so many people whenever they're first starting out. We're really good about accepting people that might be short on money or don't have insurance or like that kind of thing. So like with doing that, we need places that are going to be able to give recovery support services. And like food is a big one, like instead of them having to worry too much on like how am I going to eat, they have access to a resource to be able to do that. As far as like people having recovery coaching or being able to just go sit down with someone and that's going to help and get like a resume or an application filled out or anything like that. Kimmies has been amazing. And then there's so many different places that refer people to Oxford House, and we try to do the same thing. Like if someone's leaving, the last thing that we want is for them to not be able to get help if they want it. So we will really just go as far as we need to go, so long as they're willing and not disruptive, to get them some additional help. And there's so many places that come into play whenever we have that kind of situation.
So who qualifies to go to Oxford House?
I'm going to ask you a question. Are you an addict or an alcoholic? What's your answer?
Yes.
You qualify.
Nice.
So that's the qualifier. So at that point, you can get an interview to move into an Oxford House. And that's another thing, talking about stigma. So, like, I get a lot of phone calls and someone will say that they need somewhere to live. And I ask them, are you an addict or an alcoholic? And their response is no. And I believe a lot of times people aren't answering that question honestly out of fear or stigma. And so if anybody's out there and they're thinking, I do have a problem, I would like to get better. If you're asked a question, the first step of recovery is being honest. So like answering questions like that honestly may be able to get you some help. Yeah.
And do you have to be sober?
So they can't move in actively using any kind of drugs or alcohol.
You need like 24 hours at least? Or?
Yeah, at least.
Okay.
If they're going to need to detox, like we're not a medical facility, we don't claim to be, we don't disperse medications or do anything like that. We partner with the community at large, and there's so many different options for people to choose for all those kinds of things. And at least 24 hours. And if they were to like fail a UA coming in, the house would set a certain amount of time for them to be able to pass. And then after that time's elapsed, they would take another UA, and then they'd go from there.
And so managing a Oxford House, so just you oversee a big area, or
So
is it managed by?
Oxford Houses are managed by the members. Oxford House is a democratically self-run system. There are voted positions: a president, a treasurer, secretary, coordinator, comptroller, and all of the decisions are done by the group conscience of the home. When Oxford House originated, they looked back to two things that have stood the test of time. They've worked really well. We've not shifted away from them, and that was how Congress runs, basically, the town hall meeting. And they looked at the group conscience system of Alcoholics Anonymous, and then they kind of blended the two together and came up with some traditions and a structure. And yeah, so we celebrated 50 years of Oxford House being around last year.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And it kind of falls into the old adage, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
So yeah, they stumbled into something that works really well. I will say, I'm not afraid to say this at all, Oxford House is for people who are ready for recovery. Oxford House is a system that you have to buy into. If you move into an Oxford House and you are not ready, and you're not ready to pursue recovery, and you're not ready to buy into a system and have some of your old ideas changed and start trying to live a new way of life, then you will probably have a hard time in Oxford House. But if you are at a point where you want to pursue recovery to the fullest, and you are willing to buy into the process and say, I want to be responsible, I'll take a position, I'm going to show up to this event that we're having, yes, I'm going to go to this meeting, or I'm going to reach out and I'm going to ask other people to take me to a meeting, you're going to have a wonderful time living in Oxford House. Yeah, it took someone like me that thought that I would never have any kind of life, and I was the gutter junkie, methamphetamine shooting, keep going to jail 13 different times, and I had never paid a light bill until 2025. My own light bill until 2025 was 39 years old. Before I ever lived on my own and paid my own light bill.
And that's so amazing, because, that's all wrapped around stigma and all that. You can't tell anybody that you have a charge against you or a felony. You're always afraid of something like that. Mm-hmm. And here you are, them recognizing the fact that you want to get well, you want to get better, and doesn't matter what your background is, because it doesn't really, that's yesterday's news. We don't want to even talk about that. We want to talk about the future. So you're making the future bright for them. No time limit on how long they could stay there. Is there a time for them to move on? And do you recognize that, or does the house recognize it, or you just let them stay as long as they need to, right?
It's their personal choice. And what I try to educate people to do is take a look at your position in life. What's your credit score? How much debt do you have? Do you have a car? Do you have savings? Like, why rush to move out until you've repaired some of that wreckage? And that you've set yourself up in a position to where once you move out, you never have to come back. And I say that because that's what I did, right? And today, after doing all that, I have a wife, I have a kid, my in-laws live with me, I have a car, I've never missed a car payment, my credit score is 800, all of these things that set me up to once I moved out of Oxford House, I don't have to go back. And that's what the purpose is, is to try to give people enough time so that whenever they leave, they don't have to keep cycling, if that makes sense.
And you spoke yourself about how far down you went and how far you had to go, to reach the point where you were really, I don't want to say self-sufficient because, I mean, that's true, but we like to talk about community and helping each other. So you didn't do it alone.
Yeah.
But in order to reach that, you had to go a long way.
Yeah. The gentleman over here in the audience was asking me before I came up here, he was like, what changed, And I said, I got to a point where I had no more answers, right? Because as long as I thought that I was going to have an answer for whatever sticky situation or, I just kept making poor choices. And when I arrived at a point and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing anymore, and I was teachable, that's like when life started to change.
That's exactly my story. I was given the gift of, I don't know what to do, because I always knew what to do, and I always knew what you should do too, and I'd be happy to tell you if you just give me a few minutes of your time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let me tell both of you what to do. Here we go,
Yeah.
But and that's all of us when you think about that. You think you have all the answers and ready right there, and when you find out that you're in a struggle and you're in a fight that you really didn't really want to have, and you learn and you see what's going on, then it's the time you seek help. And Oxford's House is a great place to go and get that structure they need, that system that you have that gives people structure.
Yeah.
So they're responsible. And when they're ready, they'll do whatever they have to do.
Yep.
So how do we find you?
Few different ways. OxfordVacancies.com. That's OxfordVacancies.com. And that is our national registry. You can search by state, county, city, gender, and it's going to pull up a register of houses with the landline phone number, a person who lives there's name, and a person who lives there's cell phone number. And then you contact them directly, request to get an interview set up, and then after the interview happens, if you're accepted, you get to move in.
Okay, we got one question here before we leave. We want to hear about the documentary that's coming at theaters near us.
Okay.
So I want to hear about it.
Really big deal. I'm super excited. Part of that Oxford House being around for 50 years was there was a very, very good documentary created by a production company called North 40, and it's a 1-hour documentary. It has real life stories from people that live in Alabama, Tennessee. I'm pretty sure it's like North Dakota or South Dakota or Idaho or something like that. Very, very powerful, very moving, very real about like what Oxford House is. We are reaching out and inviting people. It is invite only. We do have space available right now for organizations that deal with substance use disorder, the police department and stuff like that. So what I want to do is I'm going to give anybody out there my email address, and that is Tyler, Tyler, .Sykes, Sykes, @oxfordhouse.org. And if anybody is interested in attending, please send me an email. I'll also give my phone number, 423-440-9660. You can text me as well. So just throwing that out there. Currently, we have about 180 or 190 people out of the 275-ish that we can have in the theater. It's a full red carpet premiere. We've got a lot of sponsors and vendors that are going to be there for the first hour that it occurs. Then we have the wonderful documentary for an hour. There's a Q&A panel afterwards, which I believe Mr. Al Kinkle has agreed to moderate for us. Is that right, Al? Is that right?
Yeah. I'm going to need a little help with that. I'm going to find Heidi somewhere. But
and it'll be a really good night. And for anybody that may be listening or watching that's already been invited, I'm gonna reiterate, it's a red carpet premiere, which means dress the absolute best that you can. something that we have historically done in Oxford House. We do a lot of conventions and stuff, and we do a Saturday night banquet. And we get all of our people to dress the absolute best that they can. And there's nothing that strikes the heart quite like seeing a group full of people in recovery or people working in recovery that are just dressed as good as they possibly
Dressed
can.
to the nines that night. It's going to be exciting. I can't wait for that to happen. I'm excited for you.
Yeah.
And
What's
I'm
the date
excited for the Oxford House.
That date is June 10th, 2026.
All right.
Yep.
Great.
All right.
Very nice. Good. That is awesome. And I get to wear one of my tuxedos.
Yes, absolutely.
Very good. Okay.
We'll go together. I'll wear mine
Because
too.
not only is there 190 people coming, but I just got my invite, so now there's 191 people.
I want to go.
You're
I have
invited.
an invitation for you.
Is there any popcorn that night?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
popcorn and soda, and you wouldn't believe what that costs.
Oh, yeah.
We were talking to Al and Eileen about that earlier.
We'll have to put something in a cup for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Movie popcorn.
John.
Okay, everybody, we're going to take another commercial break, and when we come back, we may or may not have something special for you. I'll let you know when we come back from commercial. You're listening to Rated R for Recovery and RatedRforRecovery.com. We'll be right back.
Do it for your friend.
Struggling with life's challenges? At the Next Step, we're here to guide you to a brighter tomorrow. Whether it's counseling, recovery support, or simply finding hope, we provide the tools and community to help you rise. Take the first step toward healing today. Visit thenextstep.org and discover how we can support your journey to wellness. Remember, every step forward is a step toward a better you. The Next Step, your path to hope, starts here. With offices in Fort Myers and Naples, 844-639-8371.
Have you been charged with a crime? You could face serious penalties for conviction, and it is vitally important that you have skilled legal assistance on your side during this time. Call Brian L. Edwards, Esquire, attorney at law today. 888-512-6254. Results matter. With a track record of success, our methods are tried and true. Mistakes happen, but we can help. Brian L. Edwards, Esquire, attorney at law. Visit FortMyersCriminalLawFirm.com or call 888-512-6254.
Feeling trapped in addiction? White Sands Treatment Center offers more than just detox. We build lasting recovery. With 3 inpatient and 18 outpatient locations located throughout Florida, we offer services from medically supervised detox to inpatient, outpatient, and sober living programs. Our services include individual therapy, family therapy, life skills, and small group sizes. Our amenities include yoga and massage therapy with recreational activities, including gyms, pools, and spa. Newsweek has named White Sands one of America's best addiction treatment centers 5 years in a row. You deserve quality care in a safe, supportive setting. Call White Sands Helpline at 833-423-2338 or visit whitesandstreatment.com and start your recovery journey today.
Welcome to Holy Spark. At Holy Spark, we bring power and reliability to every job. From panel upgrades and EV chargers to lighting installations and troubleshooting, we're dedicated to keeping your home and business running safely and efficiently. With expert craftsmanship, honest service, and free estimates, you can count on us to deliver electrical solutions that shine bright. Contact us today at holy-spark.net or call 239-789-6832.
Not everyone has the luck of the Irish. If a friend or family member is in trouble, call Shamrock Bell Bonds. Put our number into your phone, 239-332-2245, 239-332-2245, or go online at gobailmeout.com. Shamrock Bell Bonds provides fast, reliable service. Shamrock Bell Bonds, 1528 Broadway, downtown Fort Myers. Look for the Shamrock, and maybe luck will be on your side.
Hello, I'm Michael Manzi, owner of JCI Solutions, 239-672-2673. When starting this company 3 years ago, I had no clue that we would grow to what we have become. There is one thing I can say that we have done from the beginning is take pride in our work, making sure every customer we do work for is satisfied from beginning to end. Offering residential painting all the way to commercial painting with jobs done in a timely manner, with highly skilled professionals giving you top-of-the-line work. To help you create your new look, call JCI Solutions, 239-672-2673.
Struggling with addiction? You're not alone. At Phoenix House Project, we believe in second chances and brighter tomorrows. Our proven programs offer support, hope, and tools to rebuild your life. With expert care and a community that understands, transformation starts here. It's time to rise, reclaim your life, and become the best version of yourself. Visit phoenixhouseproject.squarespace.com today or call 239-244-7876. The journey to recovery begins with sober living. Phoenix House Project, where hope takes flight.
Kimmies Recovery Zone, where hope meets action. We're here to guide the journey from treatment to thriving, healthy living. With peer support, public education, and vital resources like housing, employment, and Narcan training, we're building stronger communities. Ready to make an impact? Together, we're creating a network of recovery, resilience, and renewed lives. Kimmies Recovery Zone, your hub for healing and hope. Visit us online today at kimmiesrecoveryzone.org. It's not how we survive, it's how we thrive.
When children have to play inside so they don't disappear.
Welcome back to Rated R for Recovery.
All right, welcome back to Rated R for Recovery, ratedrforrecovery.com. Each and every week we have a nice edition with guest hosts and guest singers and just a lot of guests, and tonight's no different. So at the end of the show, we have somebody come on and do a little bit of music, and guess what? We have a very special musical guest for us this week. This woman's been singing ever since she's been a little girl, and she's going to make her, I was going to say your Rated R for Recovery debut, but no, she's coming back by popular demand. Ladies and gentlemen, our co-host, Joy, singing Sunny.
That sounds like a big audience. If I can remember the words, we'll be good. Sunny, thank you for the Sunny, thank you for the love you brought my way. You gave to me your all in all. Now I feel 10 feet tall. Sunny, one so true. I love you. Sunny, thank you for the sunshine bouquet. Sunny, thank you for the love you brought my way. You gave to me your all in all. Now I feel 10 feet tall. Sunny, one so true. I love you. Sunny, thank you for the truth you let me see. Sunny, thank you for the facts from A to Z. My life was torn like wind-blown sand, then a rock was formed when we held hands. Sunny, one so true, yeah, I love you. Sunny, thank you for that smile upon your face. Sunny, thank you for the gleam that flows with grace. You gave to me your all in all. Now I feel 10 feet tall. Sunny, one so true. I love you. Yesterday my life was filled with rain. Sunny, you smiled at me and really eased the pain. I love you. I love you. Oh, Sonny, I love you. I love you. I love you.
Always a crowd favorite, ladies and gentlemen. My co-host, your co-host, that's Sue. We're done for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Like us and subscribe on YouTube. See you next week. Stay sober, my friends.